going on, people? And welcome to the All Gunners podcast, episode 4. Yes, we are still alive and kicking. Last week we had legendary Graham from AFTV with the Tactical Insight. There's a number of shows across YouTube. And here we are again, episode 4. We're keeping this real for you guys now. We're keeping this regular. Popular demand. People are saying, "Where's episode 4, guys?" So just for the public, for the people, for the Gunners, we're here for you, man. We're here for you. Anyway, enough of me. I'm sure you don't want to hear much of my voice. I need to bring in very, very special people joining us today on episode 4. As always, we have the regular, the one and only Zed. What's going on, Zed?
Hey, Harry. I'm all right. How are you, man?
Yeah, man, not too bad. Not too
Excited to be
bad.
back. Excited to be back for episode 4.
It's a nice full week of football as well, isn't it? In between, for once.
Yeah. For once, yeah. I think the last couple of episodes we have had no football, especially
Look, next
no Arsenal
time you
football.
decide to start a podcast, my friend, can you make sure that it's in the middle of some really meaty matches, because we need content, man.
Yeah, what do you mean next time? This is the podcast. This is the All Gunners podcast. This will be the podcast.
Exactly. Right. And without further ado, and last but not least, I would like to give a very, very special introduction to a good, close friend of mine. I can't even call him a friend. He's a brother from another mother. And he is known as Danny AFC TV. Danny, how we doing, my friend?
Huzzah, Zed, thanks for having me on. Good evening, brothers. Looking at results, boys, from today, mainly, and Man United, was it yesterday, things are looking a touch better. And obviously you was at the Wolves game, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. So
definitely,
things are looking a touch better.
Good.
Fixtures, etc.
And it's a good time to get Danny on. Let me just give Danny a bit of introduction. We need some props because Danny basically runs a YouTube channel. Danny, how long have you been running that channel for, my friend? 2 years?
Just over a year, I do believe now, has. Just over a year.
Just over a year. It feels like a lot longer, though, doesn't it?
Perhaps a lot's happened in that year, that's why.
It's been an action-packed year. It's a meaty year, definitely. And just to sort of bring in an introduction about you, I mean, I was one of the very, very early listeners, and I can tell you from my own perspective is that you popped up on YouTube one day, as lots and lots of different podcasts and channels do. And because I search Arsenal stuff regularly, and I was a watcher then of AFTV, generally speaking, as you know, when with cookies and everything and algorithms, the stuff that you watch most all pops up. And I saw this dude in a cap and a bandana, and I'm thinking, this is an interesting watch. Actually, what I do remember, actually, listening to some of your first time you were doing some bars was the first time I actually. But it was controversial, because I remember listening to you. People were aiming from you from right at the beginning. So, controversy, it brings views, doesn't it? And I thought, I'm going to listen to this guy. But what I loved about your content, and this is a theme we'll talk about, I'm sure, in a few minutes as we go through, get to know you a bit more, is that you were real and interactive. That was the difference between your channel and everyone. So let me give an example. So you're at AFTV, it's all camera, front-facing camera, out to an audience, and they'll say on the odd live show, give us your comments and whatnot, but there's never a chance that your comment will be highlighted or brought up. I remember listening to you live, because all of your original stuff, all of your stuff was all live, it still is, and commenting, and you go in, Azza, how you doing? Yeah, thanks for... And that was consistent all the way through. So I thought, you know what? This is actually developing into a really good friendship. Every time I'm coming on, this guy is talking to me and getting views, and we're talking about Arsenal, and many of the times we disagree. But that's one of the things that I would tell you guys, listeners, that Danny AFC TV was one of, if not the realest Gunners YouTube channel out there. And a year later, we're still strong. You've got now a lot more listeners. You have that family thing that I know you're going to talk about in a few minutes. And I have to congratulate you, my friend, because you know what? It's not been without its controversy. We've had its ups and downs, as we're going to talk about. But well done, my friend, because actually you, Danny, have inspired us to start this podcast. So listen, enough of me. Let's go into you. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Danny. How and when you became an Arsenal fan, whether it's family related or whether you just were bullied into it by someone at school or family. Tell us from the beginning, my friend.
Well, obviously, you'll know I'm a bit of an older gunner, so but then again, I was always older for my age. So listen, I was playing out at whatever time of night it was,
Yeah.
and it was the first ever game. It was Liverpool
Mhm.
Arsenal. It actually happened to be '89. It was that game, and my brother called me. He was like, "Hey, like, come in." I was like, "What do you want, man? Like, leave me alone. I'm on my BMX. I'm like, I'm on my trick nuts here. I'm doing my thing." He was like, "No, no, no, no. Listen, today you watch football. I'd never watched a football game in my life. Didn't even fucking Arsenal. I never heard of Arsenal." And so, obviously, without going into that for too long, that was obviously a memory 2-0, even though I never realised that night what was going on and the madness and the significance. And the next morning's papers having the cannon and basically it was just blowing smoke all over the Liverpool badge. I'll never forget that Sun newspaper, and the Sun, obviously, they're dead today, I think, as far as I'm concerned. Are they still around, the Sun? Okay, I think they're gone. I don't know if they're still there. But I'll just always remember, like, childhood thing, very, very young in school, always remembering, like, why is it just smoke all over the Liverpool thing? Obviously, again, significantly, Liverpool were a massively dominant team in the 80s. Well, from whenever,
They were then,
we
weren't
can
they?
all
Yeah.
remember.
Where
And
they
a
were,
lot crazier then because it was Dalglish and everything. But to nail that, Arsenal was obviously in the blood. Season ticket holder for absolute years, my friend, from about 13, 14.
So your
North
brother
man.
was an Arsenal fan then, Danny?
Yeah, my brother, yes. He was an Arsenal fan.
Hardcore.
He's sort of hardcore-ish. I think he still always loved football, and then me, I got right into it, and then he was like, "Right, young brother, you're coming with me." And I
Yeah.
remember arguing
Yeah,
seriously. My brother was like, "Yeah, like not like you'd let me fight anything alone." But I remember being 13, giving it, "Well, fuck off!" Like, go look at him, John Lukic, and go, "Fuck off! I'm better than him, bollocks!" And you know what I mean, I proper was sorry for swearing. I was always that guy that would really, even from the terraces, even young, sort of like, "Nah, bollocks, they're getting paid this much money. Like, come on, and la 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 la." Or
Because
I
it's
would
fair to
expect you.
say, Danny, isn't it? You are a passionate individual in anything that you have a view on. You can see that, from your channel. You're passionate. You're into it. Are you passionate on just Arsenal, or are you just generally a passionate guy?
My pictures of when I was chefing in that recent place. So when I even cook, though, I do believe like I fully give it heart. I'm not. I know this is proper off topic, but I'm a veggie, innit? Like literally onto that vegan stage.
A
And
veggie chef, Danny is, guys. A veggie chef. I've
Oh
never met a
wow,
veggie
wow.
chef. Have you? Have you, Zed? I haven't.
No, no, no. I
You,
think we steer so clear from vegetarian
no,
veganism.
you can't do that to me.
That's
You
why.
can't. There's no veggie down these sides. But Danny, you cook meat though, don't you? You're a chef that cooks meat, but you just don't eat meat.
yeah, of course I do. That's how good I am, bro. That, you know what I mean? Free stuff. Like, of course, I've never worked in a vegetarian restaurant or anything like that. I've worked in Angus steakhouses and Benugos, Ivy, Chelsea Bridge, and obviously, I'm sure if any of you heard of that, it's a shit hot restaurant. Roman Abramovich, etc., eats there. William Gallas. So yeah, I've worked in a lot of fucking really good restaurants, bro. So
So is that where your passion comes from, then, Danny? Passion for
no,
food and
'cause
cooking and
I
that.
was way passionate before Arsenal before cooking. So no, probably not. But I think it fit the fucking the mentality in the kitchen. Where's this? Where's that?
I
Why
get
is
you.
this not nice? You blah blah. Get this out my face. And yeah, I proper went into the role. Like, do you know what I mean? Like nicely, just fit it like a glove.
Yeah.
As a busy line chef, or then moving up to obviously sous chef or whatever.
Nice.
And so back into the Arsenal bit. Yeah, over the years, obviously, then I had a lifestyle of Wenger and winning everything and being able to tell everyone, go wherever yourself. We're the best in the world. Literally, we are the best since Hovis sliced bread
So you were
itself.
definitely there for the success years, weren't you? If you
Oh,
started
yeah,
in
well,
'89,
season ticket holder and that,
yeah.
everything. I just wish I had a channel then. Like, why didn't I think of it then? Like, to be honest with you, I don't want to make this because this could go on for hours. I think you said what made you start this channel. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So tell us about the channel then, Danny. Go on then.
What made me start this channel was just a mad decline in Arsenal. I'd seen us sack Wenger, someone I massively respected, even though the last 6, 7, possibly even 8 years were massively getting pear shaped. I watched Emre come and go in a sort of flash. When I say a flash, like on hindsight, he was a point away from Champions League football, Europa League final. The trust the process, Don himself hasn't actually got to Europa League final. In fact, we don't play European football, and in fact, we haven't finished fifth or a point behind Champions League football yet. So,
So it was the decline of Arsenal.
it was the climb, the flash in and out, and then a guy that obviously the day we signed him, I remember the day we signed him, like the day we hired him as a manager, like I almost fell off the fuck. Yeah. I was a Ladbrokes manager at the time. Yeah, there you go. I was working. I fell off the chair literally. I was like, what? Who? Arteta? No, we're not being linked with him. And then minutes later, he was like literally been a I was like, oh, come on. Like, I mean, sorry, as a player, when we signed him, like we've just lost Fabregas, Nasri, so I know that was harsh on him. I never forgave him for that. So do you know what I mean? To come in around the
So
time
you
of
never
that
liked Arteta even when he signed for the club
nah, mate,
as a
no,
player?
no, no. Again, harsh may it be, but it was because we had lost in that week. I
But
think
but but
Fabregas.
this is, guys, what you will learn about Danny through this journey and this pod today. Danny is bloody harsh. You know,
Especially on Arteta, it seems like it.
he's just a harsh guy. You know what I mean? I mean, credit where it's due. To be fair, Danny, you and I, we've had our lots of disagreements because of I've been Arteta in and out a couple of times. We'll talk about that, no doubt. But you've generally been quite consistent with Arteta out, haven't you?
Excuse me. Well, again, yeah. You've sorry, so sorry. Yeah, but I mean, you know why? It's because I've always seen the decline, the man management of players. Most recently, whether you loved him or hated him, Uber. You know, I've got a massive thing with the whole Saliba Guendouzi situation. Even in January, like when he let Ainsley Maitland-Niles go with no replacement, parties at the African nations. I don't think all of
So
his
you've always
decisions.
thought Danny's been a bit incompetent. Is that what it is?
Bro, no. I honestly, and really will, and I'll die of this today. Like, bro, I don't honestly. When he says all that, when he was talking about the Uber situation the other day, we sat down all together and we decided it was best as a club to move forward and get him out. Blah blah. I was thinking, listen, no. I'm pretty sure you was one of the main instigators of this. For whatever reason, the club are backing you. Because which club does spend £27 million on a centre back like we did with Gabriel? Well, Gabriel's the next best thing since Hovis come out itself. Saliba's been slammed in the bin, blah, blah, blah. Remember, Fofana, and I don't want to get into this too crazily, he was like the guy that cleaned Saliba's boots. Like, literally, he wasn't the guy.
Yeah.
You know, he was not the guy. And they threw him into Premier League football, and lo and fucking behold, he turned out to be a really good centre half. And now he hobbled off injured tonight. Do you know what I mean? Watch, they're fucked. Do you know what I mean?
So Danny, let's rewind a little bit then, because we were talking about the start of the YouTube channel then. So you've got this kind of disliking for Arteta. We've got the club in decline, which it has been over a number of years. We've also got to remember there's this start of a kind of an ambush of YouTube channels out there, isn't there? All Arsenal related, generally because of how shit we were, getting really, really good views. So what made you actually think about? Because without sounding harsh to you, Danny, you're not the most technological guy around, are you? So how did you think about that, and how did you get into it?
Basically, and it's literally has the way it is now. I said to my friend, I was like, you know what? I've watched a couple of things now. It was AFTV, Lee Gunner, and further than that, I just thought, everything else is pretty much, I just didn't like it at all. And I'm not saying I even like them two. I was like, so these are kind of what's being watched at the moment. So I used them to an example and sat there with my friend, and I was like, well, these lot ain't even entertaining, number one. That was the first thing. I was like, number two.
Lee Gunner definitely isn't, no.
Exactly. And then number two, though, you'd get the most silliest mistakes. You actually would get, and I don't think, when you say I'm very real, remember, I've never edited a thing in my life. Has I? Yes or no? I've never edited a thing. No. Everything's been live. You won't come out with me saying, well, Arsenal have been linked with William Guendouzi today. Like, these were the things Robbie would do. Like, he does it all day. That's why he can't do it live. Guendouzi, Torres today, Torre and Guendouzi. Like, it was a flop in a lot of ways. And then even the player, who would you like then this club to buy? Well, I think Vardy would be a really good sign away. And I was like, fuck off. Like, come on, mate. Did you open a tabloid this afternoon? Blah, blah, blah. It was all bollocks. Now, on to Lee play with himself. I do this only for donations. And big up, sorry, because this brings me back to another point. You said something about the way I went, Hazard with loads of enthusiasm. That's because I was always real and genuine from the start. Everyone that watched me, I wanted them to be entertained. I wanted them to engage with what I was talking about. And as you say, I always did say a thing from the start. I'm not here to profit. It's not about whacking a donations page on.
Definitely not. No.
To me immediately, and I want you to do this, and I need an Apple Mac in my life. Because I remember that was another thing when I watched this league on, and this was well over a year ago, because obviously my channel's been just over a year old. So say a year and a half, 2 years ago max. He was like, yeah, I'm building on making this channel better and the graphics and Apple Mac, so please do get them some whatever your donations in tonight. And I remember listening to it just thinking, you are a total cunt. Like, literally, like, You know you've got an audience. You know you've got people, and
He's
like, you
there
know what
for
I mean.
the pound signs, and he Lee Gunner. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a combination of just the bollocks that was out there, the
Mhm.
fakeness of it, the way they was a family, and that's how I aimed at them. I was like, you know what, I could never break this down really quickly because I'm going to be rude. I'll never play by their games. And as you probably see on Twitter, I never did. I never backed down. There was all kinds. DT was a wife beater, and you see how that got me on things like Football Terrace, Wanker Terry, a girl TV, fuck a girl harder. Do you know what I mean? Because as soon as the wife beating thing come out, and remember, bruv, this is 9, 10, 11 months ago. As soon as that started surfacing, me started throwing it out. They were like, "Oh, we can't work with you because he's a respected person." Well, motherfucker,
Yeah.
that respected person's
Wow.
in jail right now, isn't it? Who the fuck was right? A
I
girl?
mean,
Who the fuck
this
was right?
this is Danny how I saw it, and Zed, you may not have known of many of these characters that we're referring to, but
No, no.
they're all very prevalent on YouTube. What was brave about Danny? And I thought he was mad to start with. I thought, what? You've just started a YouTube channel. These guys are getting 20, 30K views per channel, and you're literally
And I
aiming
thought,
for them.
I thought, fuck 'em.
And that's what he was. He was literally Zed. He was literally
Mhm.
writing raps about them, absolutely cussing the shit out of these people. Lee Gunner. I mean, I know his views aren't so great now because he's been found out for what he is. But back then, Lee Gunner was picking up his DT, was in his prime for AFTV. Egal was just starting, but he was sort of certainly on an American point of view, sort of American Gunners, and getting quite a lot of UK views.
Yeah,
And what Danny was doing is he was calling them out for, look, you guys are fake. You're doing this to make money. Here I am,
yeah,
real as whatever you'll find me. You like me or you
yeah,
love me. You take me as I am.
yeah. So it was more. So Danny's point of view was more the support for the club itself, presenting a view of what it was
Just a
rather than a
real
business,
Arsenal
which
fan.
it was.
Just a
Yeah,
real
which so
Arsenal
it was a
fan.
more.
No
You remember
Yeah,
agenda. No
the Red
agenda at all.
talk of
yeah,
people profiting of Arsenal losing from games or whatever.
yeah,
Mate,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm broke when Arsenal lose games, so it's me. It's just fuck out, blah blah, and Haz will tell you the rest, la la la. I'm
yeah,
very passionate in that way, but I ain't at the end of it saying, right, I hope if I get a lot more views tonight, or I put out a video recently. Let's preview DT's first night in prison. Like that got massive views. That got really good views for my channels, like in
mhm,
really quickly. But it was.
yeah,
I'll tell you what. But if you want your comment pinned tonight, Hazard. Oh, hold on, Hazard's coming now. I'll tell you what. Well, if you put £2 in my mailbox thing, you know what I mean, Hazard, or
Yeah.
my
It's
pay.
not like that at
Hazard,
all.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
leave your comment and leave it there for a minute and tell everyone what an exceptional guy you are. No,
yeah,
I
And
built
that's what I'm saying, Danny, to Zed is that those other guys were like that. Literally, they're all about the you know, when you click and you donate. I can't remember
yeah.
super chat,
Super
right?
chat,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
is it Danny's never been interested in monetizing or anything like that, right? He was literally, and as I say, from my experience listening to him, I
mhm,
almost felt like, gosh, this guy's on YouTube. I feel like I know this guy now because we're talking so
yeah,
often, Danny.
yeah. That's it. And you, about me and you, from video calls to everything, nothing will sort of change my personality. Yes, again, we all make mistakes, and then again, I'm a lot more white. You've seen me on Twitter from the Lifetime Man on Twitter, etc. I now know how to handle certain things. I bit back very quickly, and I do say massive, and that's why I hope to, as God is with us today. This is why I hope this podcast, and I know it is anyway. It's going to blast and it's going to go through the effing roof. Is because, brother, number one, you're number one, a brilliant person. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I made a lot of mistakes, and just talking to you made me think. You know what? Every time I react, has a saying, Dan, that is it. It's not even they're scoring. They've got to be
Well,
down.
let me touch on that, Danny, for the listeners. Let me touch on that. From my perspective, Danny, and Zed, you may not know too much about this as well. Danny said something that was
no,
quite
don't.
controversial. We won't go into it. We won't go into it. But he said
Yep,
something on
yeah, yeah,
a live, which was very controversial, and it rattled a few of those well-known YouTubers. One in particular. And what had happened is that
mhm,
they had interpreted that it was through a rap that Danny had carried out, and they'd
She did
interpreted it, and
literally did rhyme, and it was about rhymes, and it was about hurting feelings. Honestly,
they turned it
it was
round, Zed, into
about
a
racial.
mhm.
race issue. Okay, which
Okay,
then
okay.
resulted in Danny getting targeted quite back, and actually Danny was quite up and coming with some of the the other, he mentioned the Football Terrace, which is a very, very well-known YouTube channel, still is now, been going a very long time. Danny had actually
Mhm.
featured on the Terrace, but
Oh,
they
nice.
dropped him as a result of this thing that had happened. I then, because I actually, by this time, Danny and I were regularly talking on text and Twitter and what have you. I then took Danny aside and gave him some advice and some home truths, really, and said, "Look,
Yeah.
this is your
Literally.
personality. I get you. I understand that you're angry with these individuals, but Danny, you've got to calm it down. You're
Yeah.
getting somewhere with this channel. This channel is real. I mean, he's so real, Zed. Right? I'll tell you, it
Mhm.
makes me laugh.
Yeah,
This
go
Danny
on.
every time. Is that the man lights up his cigarettes on live on. He'll answer his phone, and professionally, Danny, my views
Yeah.
on it. Professionally, you'll never make it on TV or live BBC and whatnot. But guess
Yeah,
what? There's a niche in the market for this. There's a niche in the market for real people, because half of the other YouTubers out there, they're not real. They're there for the clicks. Danny's captions when he puts videos are real. Well, what Lee Gunner will do, for example, he'll look at the news and he'll see what's really brewing and controversial. He'll
bro.
times
Mhm.
it by 10 in lies, and he'll put a
Yeah.
caption, and that will then, it's called clickbait, isn't it? But Danny was never
Yeah.
one of those, and that's why I really, really, I kind of connected well with Danny. And Danny, I mean, look, I think I'm going to take credit for that advice I gave you, because your channel is doing well now, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I really now want to. I'm just trying to think of ways, whether it's just graphics, whether it's because remember I've told you I've had problems, and Zed will not. Zed will probably fall over, and I hope he literally does fall over. He hears this. Um, Hank Yumi, one of my first, one of my oldest listeners as well, and has all.
OG, yeah, OG hands, my brother, yes.
He sent me a number. He was like, Dan, this guy, because you're not the most, as Hazard's already hotted me up. You're not the most technical. Pay this guy
Mhm.
30, 40 quid a month, Dan, through bank transfers. He's
Yeah.
going to give you intros. He's going to give you daily, like, so if you say Arteta is a whatever, he's going to have a
Yeah.
picture of Arteta, like, with a idiot hat on, looking like whatever I've just called him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, the geezer was like, yeah, mate, what you got to do is you just got to transfer me this, and that means for the next month I'll give you this much graphics. I'm going to give you a 30-second. Just send me a clip of you. Mate, the
Yeah.
geezer just replied back straight away. Mate, no. I know exactly who you are. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking, fuck me. Like, you'd hardly think I was famous. Anyway, so I thought, let me try another really good artist out there. UK
Yeah.
based. This motherfucker weren't even UK based, bruv, that he heard of Danny AFC TV. Right? So I thought, let me try someone UK, someone not as gassed up as this guy.
Yeah.
Bro, on my mother's life, like, I shouldn't go that deep, brother. Like, God is watching me, brother.
Mhm.
Yeah, mate, no problem. I can do it even cheaper this time. So I'm like, oh, yes. I can do it
Yeah.
at 30 quid a month. I'm going to do your 30-second intro, all that gas talk, all that bollocks there. I was like, brilliant. Just send me a clip of you, bros. Let me see a little bit about you. Let me see who you are.
Yeah.
Well, this motherfucker didn't even dignify a reply. He just blocked me. He just blocked me immediately. Bro, you can tell if I can't even get a guy to make graphics for me, you can tell I've had one or two, let's say, controversy issues
Controversies.
in
Yeah.
the first year or so.
Yeah. No, I understand. I think.
Real ones, like basically Hazard, the Hank Unis, the Lee Akers, whether
Yeah.
it's the Linders, the Roxys, the Melon Leeds, bro, I can go on, the Blazers,
Uh-huh.
the Bergkamps, the Hussein Jumas, bro, I've got a real good following, and most of these people, bro, if I go 7 days a week live,
Mhm.
most of these boys will be there 7
They're
days a week.
tell us, Danny. We're going to wrap up this issue and move on to the Arsenal stuff.
Yeah,
But
of course.
finish on that family aspect about your channel, and tell us about that one, and the togetherness.
Well, I think obviously seeing is believing. So when they were watching me and I was probably getting 12 views in my first couple of days and everything, and I was pinning everyone's comments and treating everyone like royalty, they thought, all right, well, cool. Well, let's see after you have that fight with DT and AFTV. Let's see now. Because I remember a couple of my videos exploded immediately to 2,000 views on YouTube. I don't know if you remember, Hazard, them times when me and you first started talking. My views were going really good. And then suddenly a couple of controversial things come out. A few people called me racist, etc. And then suddenly...
Mhm.
I was marked. That's it. It's like the police marking you as a drug dealer and pulling you over in a BMW every Friday night. It was as tedious as that. So what I done was then I thought, right, that's it. I'm going to slow down this. If people think it was just an attitude or it was a fake persona, I'm going to hold everything that I've got and blah, blah, blah. But back to the treating everyone like royalty. So as when it started getting, well, it wasn't just 4 people live and I can do all the comments. When it did get into some shows, when sometimes it would be only 20, 25 of us live, bros, I've had people like WB, the little idiot, because he's always a little bitch. Sorry to say WB, if you ever listen, well, I'm sure you will listen.
You better listen.
Of course he will. And commented, but you've got this rule of doing everyone's comment in one by one. And I said, well, bros, this is one of my first day promises, yeah? I goes, and I know if I get 1,000 people following me, watching me all at the same time, it's going to be one fuck of a fucking task, yeah? But as I said, I've always saw it on my mother's life. Whatever viewers I get, whether it's 1 or 1 million, I swear to God, I'm always going to try and get everybody's comments in until I bust.
That
you know
is
what I mean?
true. That is true.
And I've had people jump out of my streams said, unbelievably, because they're like, oh, bros, it took about 5-6 minutes for you to like get around to the comment. Well, that's because I will answer everyone's comment truthfully, heartfully, and blah, blah, blah. So again, without getting overly into it, we could be talking another half an hour. The truth is, I realised, right, cool, I'm always going to be controversial, blah, blah, blah. So do what you're good at. Keep it the Arsenal edge. Keep it. You've got 1 or 2 people out there that keep their ear to the ground, as I've always called him, K, the guy, do you know what I mean? Not talking about no one else has but K, the one that used to tip me off, he tipped me off about many players, even before my channel. He tipped me off about Pepe and Tierney, just 2, comes up the top of my head. So he was obviously a guy that I'll talk to a lot when I made this channel, and so yeah, I kept it as real as possible, never lied, never said, right, I'm going to do this, guys, for you, or do that. It was just always as raw as possible, always keep every comment. If Hazard come in, and me and Hazard have got a great relationship, we really do. I don't care. When Bergkamp come in, well, he's getting the same. Look, how are you this evening, bruvs? Hope everything's good at home. What's going on, bruvs? As Arsenal drove you fucking mad again, brother, talk to me. Everyone. Zed, you come in that night, bruvs? Fucking up.
Yeah, I remember.
Have you here? Why haven't you been back, Zed? Why haven't you been back? I'm joking, you know what I mean? Have you here, bro? It's all genuine, my friend, because I'm buzzing to have every new person there.
You are. Totally is. And I can vouch for that, Zed. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I've experienced, Danny says, I've experienced it, and, apologies, I haven't been back, but every time your stream comes on, I'm like half asleep already, like, work tomorrow, man. Right?
He's a late streamer, but he's consistent, and Zed has always said that if you want to grow something, you have to be consistent, and
you have to be consistent.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to say something here, even though I love this own voice, guys. At the end of the day, this is called the All Gunners podcast, and I'm absolutely massively heartfeltly delighted to be a guest here. But let's move it on, guys. What else do we want to talk about? What do you think the fans want to hear about?
Let's talk about some Arsenal stuff. But before that, let me just plug your channel, Danny, because that's all you've been doing for us from the beginning. You can find Danny on Twitter at Danny AFC TV, and literally, if you type in Danny AFC TV on YouTube, you'll see loads and loads and loads and loads of pictures plastered of Danny below, and you'll be able to see streams of Danny.
Good and bad, you're going to see a lot about Danny AFC. I will be at the top of whatever comes up.
Definitely would recommend it, guys. If you want to see somebody that's real, somebody that wants to talk about Arsenal, rant as well as praise, you're going to see Danny do that. So please, everybody, subscribe to his channel and really get his views up, because he's the realest YouTuber out there. Right, let's get on to the nitty gritty Arsenal stuff, guys. It's been a meaty week, hasn't it? Really, and I had the pleasure, brothers, of going to watch the Wolves versus Arsenal game. It was a little bit tricky getting tickets, but given it's my resident town and city, I thought, look, why not? So I got ripped off a bit with the ticket, but hey ho. But it was an interesting game. Got to big up the Wolves fans. Sorry, Zed.
It was a good ticket. I saw the pictures. Yeah, sorry. I'm just saying it was a good ticket. It was a good seat. I saw the pictures.
Yeah, no, it was a brilliant view. It was a brilliant view, and I had the chance to actually go and meet one of my old colleagues that I used to work with, and so I'm glad I went. And he's a diehard Wolves fan, but we were having a bit of banter after and during the game.
Sorry, and Zed, as Hazard knows, if you actually never do want to get a ticket for the Emirates, let me know, man. Liakers is
definitely.
Definitely.
By the way, sorry, Hazard, I didn't even tell you, there was one clock end upper, Brentford, £51 was the cost price. I just think it would probably short notice for Haz. You know what I mean? But,
Let's
yeah, there's always
let's
there.
get it. Let's discuss that one
Let's
offline, definitely. So going back to the Wolves
let's
game,
offline.
going back to the Wolves game, guys. Right. Uh,
Yeah. So
so
Harry,
yeah, go on, go on.
go on. No, I was just gonna say you've been at the game, right? So
Yeah.
you've got the first time view. So I want you, and then we get onto Danny's opinion as well. Give us your overall of the game. What did you think of Arsenal's
I've got to say.
performance?
I mean, I love the atmosphere. The Wolves fans are brilliant fans. They're great fans out there. I had to sit in the with the Wolves fans because that's the only ticket I could get. So I had to kind of relax my
Haz,
celebration. You know. Um,
did they know you were a gooner?
say again.
Did they know you was a gooner?
No, no. I mean, I had sort of plain clothes on, didn't I? Really, so I had to keep quiet
No
when we
Arsenal
scored.
shirt on.
But that's what you have to do sometimes. And anyway, yeah. So go back to the game. I have to
Yeah.
say that I was concerned watching that. I was thinking
Hmm.
going into the game that do you know what they've had a couple of weeks off in Dubai. They should be fresh now. I'm expecting them to absolutely. I mean, Wolves are not been on the greatest of forms. I know they're not conceding a lot. And by the way, we have to props to their result today. We'll get onto that, I'm sure, in a minute. But that
Yeah, we
particular
will. We
game,
will.
their form going in, they'd just been knocked out of the FA Cup. Their form going in hadn't been great. So I thought this is really a game that we can really take to them. I didn't
Yeah.
see it really, to be honest with you. I think Lacazette was he works hard. He was generally quite poor. I couldn't. I'd like to have seen Lacazette run into the box a lot more. That was quite.
Yeah.
It was quite a lethargic performance for a team that had just been off for 2 weeks and should have been fresh. But look, Danny knows this very well. That I made the predictions, and I was wrong in my prediction. But I think our team thrives on whether Tommy is in it or not. And given that he wasn't
Hmm.
there, I thought we were going to
Yeah.
struggle because he just gives us this confidence. Zed, you know my views on this as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that he
I
gives
do. I
us
do.
this
Yeah.
surety, and he wasn't there. He didn't even make the squad. So you know what? Look, overall, I think we scored quite a goal that was a little bit fortunate, maybe against the run of no team really I think deserved to win it. Probably on the balance of play, a draw was a fair
Yeah.
result. We'll obviously talk about and get onto the red card in a few minutes when we get
Yeah.
onto that segment.
Later on. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think on balance, I was concerned with that performance, given the fact that we'd come out quite fresh. I know it was a
Yeah.
cold February evening, and I appreciate that. But I'd have liked to see more, and especially when you bloody pay £55 for a ticket
Yeah. Fair enough.
at the
Fair enough.
Wolves, at the Wolves, Danny, at the Wolves.
Yeah, as I'm delighted to hear. Obviously, yeah, the Wolves fans are superb and everything. But I'm gonna just do this in the only way Danny AOC TV could, mate. I was well. Number one, I'm delighted we got away with a 1-0 win. Number two, mate, no, I didn't think we deserved it. And do you know what? Sometimes luck balances
Yes.
itself over the season.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is though, like whichever way we look at it, mate, we weren't good. We didn't look sharp. We
No.
looked
Mhm.
tired. Again, Saka looking tired, mate. There's not even internationals at the moment. Because remember at the beginning of the season, I was like, "Bruvs, he hasn't had a break. He's done this massive effort at the Euros, and he's come straight into the sea." Well, fuck, bro, he's been doing this all season now. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. He's still probably our best player most games, just for the 3 or 4 or 7 minutes that he wakes up in the games. But, bro, a lot of it is lethargic. It's from everyone. And when you say about Tommy that is because he gives you that assurance as, do you know what? I'm not going to run up and down this wing like Trent Alexander.
Mhm.
But I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand there and let no motherfucker get past me at right back.
Absolutely
Now, that's
true.
blinding. That's like, and that gives everyone some sort of assurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. I completely get you. Dan.
Tierney plays with heart. Sometimes he can wander off up front a little bit. Now I don't know what it is. It's the whatever it is in Tommy. He's disciplined as a G, innit? Like, and he ain't gonna overstep that mark. He knows he ain't Trent, so he ain't trying to do
Yeah.
Trent. He
No.
defends first
Yeah.
and thinks about
That
it
is,
later.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think Tomiyasu's key ability is, and there's one thing, I know Danny's probably not going to agree with it, but there's why I'm going to praise Arteta a little, right? So Tomiyasu, when he plays, right, he slots into that inverted centre back. So there's 3 at the back with him,
Whoa!
and White. Yeah.
Sorry. Whoa! How's this going to tell you? The minute I see this geezer kick a football, I told him, this guy, don't be surprised if Saliba doesn't come home next season. This is going to be a story because this will take hours.
Listen, let's take that issue in any other business later, guys. Because one thing I tell you, listeners, about Danny AFC TV is every conversation you're talking about defense, he is going to try and get the Saliba stroke and Dozy issue in. We will definitely, Danny, you'll definitely get a chance to have a moan about it. I promise. But let Zed talk about his tactical analysis. Come on, Danny.
I do believe before Zed goes anywhere on this, because
go on.
that role, next season, do not be surprised if Arsenal buy a right back that is a little bit more mobile up and down the pitch, and Tommy plays a number. If whatever, I'm not going to put a number on it, but he will be that guy that fills in at right centre back next season when we have whoever it could be, an Aaron.
I've got to tell you another thing as well, listeners, is that Danny likes to make a number of predictions. Much of the time, actually, to be fair to him, his predictions do come right. But this is not one of them that will come right.
We have to record this one, yeah? This is recorded. We'll hold you to this one, Danny.
Will not play for Arsenal unless Arteta is... Well, let's not say that.
You called... As soon as Aubameyang didn't make the team that day, Danny did say he will not play for Arsenal again, and he didn't.
Ever again. He's not... Forget the whole captain. He will never play for us again.
He did say that.
No,
back to Tommy. Back to Tommy. Back to Tommy.
Yeah, back to Tommy. So as I was saying, I'm going to praise Arteta a bit, right? So we know that Tomiyasu, his ability and the whole system works because he tucks in and allows Tierney to bomb forward. What I got to respect Arteta this time is he knew that Cedric is not that player. Cedric's quality, where he has limited, that we've seen it, is that he gets crosses in. And earlier on in the game, you would have seen he got a nice cross in with Lacazette just shaved his head, right? The first half. So that was one of the good things that Arteta did. He made use of Cedric's qualities rather than force him to play a role that Tomiyasu normally plays with tucking in. Because when Tomiyasu is there, Ben White gets a lot of assurance. When he isn't there, he's a bit exposed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I'm... Yeah, sorry.
I have to say...
You're right.
I have to say that... Cedric, he gets a lot of bad press because he's not that main guy. But he was magnificent against Wolves, I have to say.
He was good. No, he was good. His quality, his ability to get the cross in one touch, right? That's what you want from your attacking, what you call fullback. If you've got
Wolves didn't offer anything for me going forward.
No.
With Adama, Jimenez is not the same striker. I don't give a damn what anyone
No, he's still finding his form, isn't he, back?
It's going to take a long time.
I'm just saying, goal scoring wise, he had a 20-25 goal a season striker. He's a good footballer.
He never was. He was more of, your 10-15 goals, chipping in with assists, but
Cedric played well. I have to agree. I agree with you on that one. And the game was going well. To be honest with you, Danny's right as well. Is that from what I saw is that the game was going to sort of pan out to be probably like a 1-0, and maybe if we were really lucky, Arsenal a 2-0 kind of shading, maybe something on the break. Wolves did start to push, but as Danny said, it wasn't really anything significant. But then Zed and Danny, that thing happened. The red card, another red card.
Yeah. Before we go on to that red card, I just want to highlight something that's a bit glaring, and I think we've touched on it in the previous podcast. That ball from what you call Gabriel to Lacazette when he's one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, that miss. I know the red card's just happened and we're going to talk about it, but honestly think, if he scores that, the game is a lot more comfortable and we're not nervous for 20 minutes.
You win the game, don't you, at 2-0?
Yeah,
go on, Danny.
For ever since I made my YouTube channel, Brick. That's it.
And Zed, you know my views on Lacazette. I absolutely adore Lacazette.
What's my views on Lacazette, Hazard?
Say again.
Goals, Lacazette. What do I call him? Goals, Lacazette. I never call him Lacazette.
No.
But I certainly give it about my blood clot or that one for Lacazette. I just give it Lacazette, goal.
He had another chance, didn't he? When Saka nutmegged a player, then took on a player, and then it was a 1-2 with Odegaard. And
brilliant play.
And then Saka sort of crossed it with his right foot into Lacazette. And he should have finished it.
He took it on first time. Yeah, he took it on first time, but it's straight at the keeper. Again, poor. But you know what? Let's get on to the red card. Go on. I'm gonna start with Danny then. Danny,
Danny,
red
go on.
card.
Tell us
Yes or no?
how were you
Go on.
feeling when that happened?
Mate, obviously I'm pissed off, and I'm not going to lie, because this is where a lot of people think Danny could be biased because he loves Martinelli and he hates Arteta. Now, again, as Hazard will tell you, I've got a passion of fury for Xhaka, but I know for a fact if Xhaka had pulled off what Martinelli did the other day, there'll be a lot of Arsenal fans, or especially the more Danny AFC TV like-minded ones, would be screaming that this guy's got to get lynched out of the club immediately. Me, for one, I passed it off on my reaction with the Wolves game because I love Martinelli as much as people love hot, good cooked food. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, though, the disciplinary record in a whole reminds me of when Wenger first took over the club. I don't know if any of you recall, like when Wenger took over, I think like in his first 50 games or something, it was like 9 or 10 red cards, something crazy.
Yeah.
Vieira was responsible for quite a lot of
Yeah,
them.
Vieira with most of them, yeah. And Petit had lots of red cards as well, didn't he?
The thing is, and I always aim at Arsenal for not being vicious enough. You know, like when you need a defender or a defensive mid. You know, your defensive midfielder is allegedly whoever you like. And like sometimes you want them to be able to snap into a tackle. I know it's not allowed so much these days, like when it was with Vieira and Roy Keane, but we ain't really got a dirty-minded footballer in our team, really. Could like name one dirty footballer in Arsenal's squad, bruvs?
You'd probably say the dirtiest is Xhaka, isn't it? To be fair, yeah.
No. All right, cool. And no. Again, for me, he isn't dirty. Every time Xhaka fucks up, I'm not even going to try and say that word. Oh God! Sorry. When Xhaka fucks up most, 8 or 9 times out of 10, it's going to be when he fucks up individually and he's trying to repair his mistake. And lo and behold, he gets that yellow card, red card, or we've just given away a penalty. Like, this is Xhaka, but it hasn't happened for a season where you can say Lokonga's not been brilliant, or is he better than Guendouzi or whatever. This is one season of Lokonga. And Xhaka has had not 1, 2, 3, 5 fucking years at this. Like,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Like,
I can't argue with that, Danny. I absolutely can't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, Zed, as an Arsenal fan, honestly, as with God touching your head and the hair on the back of your head, literally, do you think Xhaka's going to suddenly one day just wake up and say, "Right, I'm not going to be that liability"?
Here's my view, guys.
He's going to be the same footballer next season.
It's
Moving
away from Xhaka a second. This is my view on it, and actually I agree with them. There's a YouTuber called Jessinio. She comes on a number of channels, and she said this. I heard her say it straight after the game the other day. I don't think you can put the blame on Martinelli. It was certainly silly what he did. When you allow the referee, we're not going to go into the nitty gritty and the rules of the law. I'm sure the referee was within his right to do what he did. But when you give the referee an excuse to do that, you've only got yourself to blame. Here's the thing: when it links to Xhaka now, is that the culture of the senior players is such. Now I count Gabriel as one of the senior players now. People are talking about him potentially being the next captain, so I count him as a senior player. If you look at his red card against Man City, it was silly, it was stupid. Right? It was absolutely ridiculous. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
If you look at Xhaka's red card, Xhaka giving away that penalty against City, which basically cost us the game, and then Xhaka's subsequent red card following that, the senior players are messing up here. And so what example does it set to the younger players like Martinelli? So I'm not going to put this on Martinelli. What I'm saying is and this is probably where our discussion will move on to eventually, is that what needs to happen? We need to change the culture. The senior players need to be more disciplined. There's a part that Arteta can play within that, but look, it's those 11 players that go on the pitch at the end of the day. And I think Martinelli was, to be fair to him, he was unprepared for that because he was actually trying to buy his team a foul, not knowing that he would be presented with 1 yellow. You'd excuse him for that because actually what he did do at the throw was silly, and he should learn from that. But actually, a caution, the whole thing behind a yellow card is it's a caution. If you don't have the opportunity to be cautioned, how can you then know? Go on, Danny.
This is your podcast, but I'm saying we've got to put a line under this, because what I'm saying, in my opinion, sorry guys, is Xhaka's done this for 5 years. I'm sure for the rest of this season, at a minimum, every game Gabriel Martinelli walks into, if he ain't on the bad boy or naughty stool with Arteta, you never know, the next little while, yeah, he's not going to go and make that same... Lightning will not, in my opinion.
Strike twice, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Danny.
Shit, he does the same old calamity for me. So what I'm saying is, like, whether we make an issue of it or not, this is not still the main part of this whole disciplinary issue. The main, like, you should be looking at points. Experienced footballers, Thomas Partey, like, I don't care if you just come back from your mum's house, like, at the end of the day, you shouldn't be getting sent off the way you did.
Yeah, I think the Partey thing, Danny, was poor, but I think he probably shouldn't have played.
Hazard, the other day, against Wolves, he gets caught out for a split second. What does he do? He chases his guy down, grabs him back. A straight yellow card in the Premier League.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say,
doing that. I'm just saying, we don't want Partey to be going in that exact mode, or this is just a normal Arsenal.
The last thing I'll say on the Wolves game is, to be fair to both Partey and this is, by the way, no decent benchmark. I'm just saying, to be fair to both him and Xhaka, both on yellow cards, is that they did manage to control themselves. Where I was really worried, I think Gabriel was on a yellow card as well.
Gabriel, yeah, he was.
And I was sitting there in the crowd with my heart in my throat, really thinking, gosh, we could not afford to have Gabriel sent off. We just cannot.
At that moment, Harry, I messaged you saying we're going to get a red card.
And you did. And there was a free kick, actually, which you gave away. And I actually thought that there was this one, actually probably was a yellow card, another yellow card challenge. I thought Gabriel was going to get sent off, but it ended up being the wrong Gabriel, the other Gabriel. So it is what it is. But Ed, tell me this, what can change?
Okay, so I think, guys, just before I go on to what can change and we talk a bit about the red card, I just want to give a bit more shout out to Arteta, and I'm sure Danny's going to come in. But
Danny, this is why we've got you on today. So we can taunt you with Arteta compliments. And I think you want to talk as well, don't you, a little bit about Rob Holding as well, don't you?
Rob Holding, And the thing is, Arteta, for the lack of a better, what you call saying, he's gotten used to putting a team and getting them to play with 10 men. Because he's had so much
opportunity. You might as well start the next game with 10 men.
Absolutely, right? So his shape, when what you call Martinelli went on, he had already made a substitution. So Smith Rowe was on for Odegaard, who had a good game, by the way. Odegaard's always a good player for me.
But people have made about a massive issue, and I don't want to name their names because obviously you don't aim at a lot of people.
Yeah, go on, Danny.
Look, Nketiah come on instead of Pepe.
We'll touch on that.
Yeah,
again,
I'm sure we'll touch on that.
Just to get on, right?
So I want to ask you something, because I know a lot about... Me and Hazard know each other inside out, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Zed.
Yeah.
Bullshitting aside.
Go on.
Who should be our captain right now, mate?
Captain, if you want to say, I will say Kieran Tierney.
Right, thank you. And I really massively applaud that. See, I don't know if it's just the old school in me that I did see just a little fraction of George Graham, or I did see 11 years of Wenger being a god, and I mean nothing short of a god.
Zed, I just want to say this is Danny's tactic at getting you away from complimenting
Arteta. Yeah?
He's so good at it. You just won't even know he's doing it, honestly. He's honestly so good. Right, getting back to Arteta and Rob Holding, Zed.
Yeah, go on. Thanks for that, Harry. I got taken in. I got taken in Danny's face.
So that was effed up and brilliant at the same time.
He's a genius.
I'm new to this. Yeah.
He's a genius. Yeah, go on, Zed. Yeah.
You know what? I'm still going to compliment this. So the change he made to the shape, right? He packed the midfield in front of the goal. So you've got 3 centre backs with Rob Holding, who was excellent, made 9 clearances, won all 3 of his duels, and cleared the ball off the line.
The one off the line,
So that's saving. Yeah, so that's saving the game. So it was a brilliant thing. Then you got Partey, what you call Xhaka. You know, all of these midfielders were sitting in front. So Wolves had the ball wide, but they couldn't get anywhere. So they kept what you call crossing in, and Holding kept getting them out, along with what you call Ben White and Gabriel, who was probably one of the better players defensively in the game, other than that petulance where he still kind of scares me for getting a red card. But anyway, let's move on to the Arsenal's discipline record. And before I ask you guys to give your opinion, I'm just going to throw some stats out. Harry knows I love stats, right? So I'm just going to chuck some things out, right? 15 red cards in all competitions since Arteta took over. That's December 2019, I think. 11 of them in the Prem. And this year, we've got more red cards than we got goals.
Shit.
Right? 2 goals, 4 red
Bad
cards.
news, isn't it?
Right, guys, I'm out bag, and no. So, wow. Shit. Well,
Yeah,
wait,
4 red cards, 2 goals.
Hazard.
Listen, I'm
Go on.
speechless, mate. I mean, look, for me, I'm disgusted by, and this is why. I know we're going to discuss it later, but this is why I don't believe, even though everyone's dropping points around us. I said this to Zed straight after the game. Zed, what did I say?
Yeah.
I said I
I
don't
don't
think.
remember number.
I said I don't think. I said well, I said a
don't think
number
we'll
of
make it
things.
top 4.
I said I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to get top 4 this season because
Top
of that.
4, yeah. Yeah, no, it is letting us down. And honestly, a better team would have probably broken us down. Better team offensively, all right? They would have probably broken
I don't
them
know.
down.
I mean, Liverpool tried but failed at Anfield.
City tried
I
and
think
managed to
what
get
for
one.
me, look, watching the game live, what I saw was like three
Yeah.
banks of 3, very
Yep.
disciplined. It was just
Very tight, yeah.
I just thought, do you know something? I'll be honest with you. I was nervous. Don't get me wrong, because any team that goes down to 10 men, 1-0 up only, you're thinking
Yeah.
Man City all over again. But after about
Yeah.
5 minutes after Rob Holding came on, and it's literally like they'd been drilled. I just didn't feel like Wolves would score. And listen, we got to shout out as well the keeper as well. He had
Oh, yeah, Ramsdale.
Ramsdale made some brilliant saves on that day as well, because they did get close to
Yeah.
scoring. I just feel like we shouldn't really be putting our pod time into Arteta needs to find a solution to keep 11 bloody men on that pitch for the entirety of a bloody match.
Yeah, I think it's happening a lot more this year. And I think there is a willingness from the referees. I just feel like maybe because I'm biased towards Arsenal, right? There is a willingness from referees to give what you call red cards to Arsenal players. It kind of just become that thing because reputation does matter. So what I'm quoting Arteta now, right?
Yes.
On Martinelli's red card, you have to want to do that. You can caution a player. You're playing at the advantage. You can stop it when he does a second foul and say, look, yellow card, you're on a warning. But if he doesn't know he's on a warning, he's getting sent off. You really have to want to do that.
Yeah,
I'm saying
it
it
was
is
horrible.
allowed in the rules of the games, right? Don't get me wrong. What the ref did is technically correct, but you really have to want to do that. And that's what Arteta said. So I do get it. He has to, the senior players have to lead by example, as you say, Harry. They have to, what you call, be more cautious in the way they approach the game because referees are more willing to give red cards these days. That's just the way it is. And with VAR, you're not really getting away from anything.
No. I think Danny's got a question for you, Zed.
Yeah, go on, Danny, go on.
Question, literally, I'm going to nail this one for everyone, and every listener, I'm sure, will hopefully comment and agree with this. Mate, at the end of the day, 15 red cards, none of them have been vicious where you've elbowed someone, broken your bone, blah, blah, blah.
No.
For me, again, it's all been down to stupidity, a failure, being caught out, kicking out, lashing out at the wrong time, or a mistake, and then it turns into calamity. Sorry again, exactly, or whatever it was. So again, I don't think it's a huge issue because it's more than, well, man up. If you want to send Saliba away because you don't think he's as good as Fofana,
plug in Saliba again, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Well, then don't send Mari away pre-season. Now we ain't got a left-footed defender, and now we're scared Gabriel's going to get sent off every game.
Well, to be fair about the left-footed defender thing, tactically, I'm starting to...
I've got a backup for everything. If you want to say, I got told a year ago, Saliba ain't here right now because it was the foreign quota. Well, fuck me, Mari ain't here right now because Mari's now shit as well. Please, no one can really, with a straight face, tell me certain people ain't better than, and I'm not going to name every one of them, people that are out on loan or perhaps even given away for free.
Yeah.
There's a
you do have a point,
guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there is a problem with Arteta and his approach and his...
hold on. Just to back that up, sorry, Zed. When you want to big up Hazard, I'm sorry. When you want to big up Arteta, Arteta needs a massive shout out for this. There's so many things he's accountable for, my friend.
Of course he is, but I'm praising what he does good while we also criticize what he does
Danny's
bad,
not
right?
into 2 wrongs don't make a right missions.
No, it's not about 2 wrongs, right? It's about praising where he's done something correct, right? but also criticizing where he does something wrong. So
So hold on.
agree-
Everything he does is for the best of Arsenal Football Club, yeah, Zed?
No, that's not the case, right? Everything he does gain. So I don't. I'm not judging him for what he does
So
for the
he
Arsenal
says
Football Club.
everything he does is for the best of Arsenal Football Club, yeah?
Well, look, any manager anywhere, right,
He's going to
has to
say that.
have a
Perfect.
certain
You
amount.
agree with that then?
No, I'm not
Okay,
saying that,
fantastic.
right? So what I'm saying is every manager has to have a certain amount of power over players. The problem with Arsenal was the players had so much more power because Arsene Wenger, his style wasn't that. His style was you
No,
have free reign and you do what you want, but I want your performance on the pitch, and that worked
brother,
until
okay, again, and I'm so sorry. This will be the last time I say his name. On God's green earth, what could Saliba have done wrong in 45 minutes away at MK Don?
look,
Look, Danny, you and
You
I
know,
have talked about this. This is the last time we're mentioning the S word, right? Yeah. But I think that the issue is we talked about this. Is this something off the pitch? I don't think he's done anything wrong on the pitch.
what do you know as well?
We've got to remember that this coincided with the death of his mother as well, which was
yep,
massively going to have affected his
I know what, and
confidence.
again, whether you say whether it's people I know within whatever, I know what William Saliba personally thinks about this. Bollocks and fuck you, Hazard. I want to play for Arsenal Football Club. I dreamt for playing for Arsenal Football Club. When I was 9, 10, 11, I haven't just had Arsenal football shirts on my back for the love of my health. I want to play for this football
Yeah,
team.
yeah. But
yeah, yeah.
as Ted is saying,
Like
it's
I want to play Premier League football. I'm good enough.
it's a manager's decision on who he
Yeah.
plays and who he wants to bring in and what have you. But
Okay.
the
Yep.
point here is that, as I keep saying to you, Danny, is that Saliba will be playing for the Arsenal next season. And actually, how exciting is that? Is that
On that.
you know he can get ready to play that back
Oh,
three because we're going to be down to 10 men so much.
bro, again, yeah, Arteta does everything correctly for Arsenal, yeah? Letting Ainsley go, yeah? The minute we were fucked around with Vlahovic, yeah, it's like, right, you better give us our fucking money for Torreira right now, or we're breaking that give me Torreira back. Because we were light in central midfield.
Yeah, but
I
again,
think we need
Pereira doesn't want to be at Arsenal.
I think we
Remember?
need to arrange a pod,
Absolutely, but
uh,
he's got to
uh,
us. Give us our money or fuck off, Zed. How's about that?
dedicated alone, right, to
Yep.
Danny's grievances with Arteta. Let's do
Let's
number.
just have that.
Let's just do the next number 7. Danny's grievances with Arteta, and let's just freestyle it, guys. Right, let's get back to the subject, guys. Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Right. So you wanted to quickly say something about Rob? No, you've talked about Rob Holding,
No,
haven't
we've
you?
got Rob Holding. We've got the disciplinary. I think what we got to what you call finish on is, guys, the result
We're
or how
fishing.
good it
Yeah.
was for
So
Arsenal.
yeah, this is where we are,
Yeah,
guys.
go on.
Now, so it's actually been for the Arsenal a great weekend of football. We have,
Yeah.
I mean, United are shit anyway. I knew they were going to drop points, but
Mhm.
we have them sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and bringing in a so-called manager who's meant to be better, but they're actually performing worse than they did with Ole. They may as well have kept it Ole for all we care,
Well, they
right?
both have a director of football to be the manager.
Yeah,
That's just not really,
and that's
really a good thing.
clearly not working. So United drop points, and they play Brighton again, I think tomorrow. So they've got 2 games.
Tomorrow,
Certainly this week coming
back-to-back
up.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got another game very quickly, and I think Brighton are going to do them. But anyway, that's Man United out of the way. We know this.
Hazard,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hazard. Sorry, listen. Arsenal currently sit, and I'm going to do a Z here for you, yeah? In
Go on.
6th position, yeah?
Yep.
22 games, 39 points, yeah?
hmm
In 5th position is Man United. They're a whole 1 point ahead of us, yeah?
Yeah.
We've got
We've got 2 games in hand,
whoa,
right?
whoa. We've got 2 games in hand over them, yeah?
Yep.
We will have
Then
3 games in hand over them
hold on, okay, cool.
when we play next. Yeah.
I'm just saying this moment. And again, so we've got 22 games. Right. West
Mhm.
Ham in 4th position, yeah,
Yep.
are a mammoth 2 points ahead of us, yeah?
hmm
And we have got 3 games in hand over them.
Yep.
Now, we don't want to talk about individuals, and we know we've got, as Zed pointed out to me just before we went live, we've still got 3 mammoth fixtures coming up.
hmm
But just taking it, well, let's do this properly, Arteta style, step by step. Our next 3 fixtures, for me and for me alone, as an Arsenal fan, should not be posing smash down walls problems for us. It is at home to Brentford, and yes, they could have a debutant in Christian Eriksen. Who knows? Then it's at home to Wolves, and they don't offer much at Molineux. And then it's away at Watford, and well, fuck me, Roy Hodgson hasn't really turned that, and he's no mermaid at this moment. So I make that 9 points, ignorant or not. Mate, I'm only seeing a top 4 finish, or Arteta is an absolute hazard. Say the words.
I think the point Danny's trying to make, listeners, is that we have probably got the best chance of qualifying for the Champions League in the top 4 than we have done for a number of years. We're being gifted opportunities. As I was just going through a second ago, United have dropped points. Tottenham lost today. West Ham have also dropped points as well. They're in Europe as well. So certainly 2 of those teams are in Europe, as in Man United are still in the Champions League, and so are West Ham. So that's going to cause fatigue down the season. I think where I will be a little bit conservative there is I think that we will probably end up drawing one of those games because we are the Arsenal. So I'm gonna go. I agree with Danny there, Zed, by the way, that I think it should be 9 points. On regulation, it's 9 points. But I have a sneaky feeling we will draw the game at home against Wolves because I think they will. I think they will park the bus, and I think let's not forget, because I was there and I was seeing it live. Our celebrations really pissed them off. And you probably heard the comments of Connor Cody
Ruben Neves,
and Neves as well, who said they were celebrating like they won the league. So I think that's going to be an interesting game to watch. I think we'll do Brentford. I think we'll do Brentford. I think Watford away will do as well. But Wolves at home, I think, are the ones that will probably slip up. But I still think that 7 points is bad still in that run.
7 points puts us on top 4.
Guys, I've got a live at 10 o'clock. It's 9:59. I'm going to have to leave us shortly. But I see, for me, it's 9 points or 0 for me at the moment. But this is Arsenal, as you say, and Wolves are...
Yeah. I mean, look, Zed, let's wrap up now. What are your final thoughts now? Are we going to get top 4? Let's have our predictions out.
Okay.
Weren't we flirting with this in the last podcast, and we were sort of skirting around the edges. Let's be real here now. This is a real opportunity to get top 4 for the Arsenal, right? There's I think United, West Ham, Tottenham, they're going to drop further points, but we've got 3, as Danny says, winnable fixtures there. But come end of the season, where are Arsenal going to finish? Zed, you first.
Okay, so I think with the squad we have, with the games that are spaced out, and the fixtures that are coming up, we should be in pole position to land top 4. So I'm going to predict Arteta will sneak into top 4.
Okay.
Sneak, though, not a comfortable one.
I'm going to just, because we've got Danny on the stream today. We've got Danny on the pod, yeah? I'm just going to sneak a little question in just to get him fired up for his stream in a few minutes. If he gets us top 4, does he get a new contract, Zed?
No.
Ooh. Go on, Zed!
The reason why I say this is because if he gets top 4, that's fine, right? He's proven that he can get in Champions League, but I will only say new contract halfway through the next season when I see him play in the Champions League.
Okay, so he keeps his job, but he doesn't get a new contract.
He keeps his job. He definitely keeps his job. Okay. And the contract talks open, but only pens it in December when we've made it through the groups of the Champions League.
Danny, I'm going to give you my view first, and we're going to close with you, if that's all right, my friend.
Perfect.
I think we're going to finish 5th. I think we will just miss out by top 4. I think that some of the fixtures that will have let us down will be maybe that draw I'm predicting at home to Wolves. I think we've generally got the easiest fixtures against versus, and I completely take Z points around our space in between games, but I think that's going to be to our detriment. I look at the I look at the result the other night against Wolves, 2 weeks off, sunning their asses in Dubai for the last 2 weeks. This should have really been. We should have been having a December-esque performance last night. Look, I'm there to be proven wrong. I don't think that we will be humiliated, but I think we'll probably may miss out on top 4. I think we'll qualify for Europe, but I think that we will miss out top 4, similar to how Emery did. It might end on the last day of the season. We may miss out by a point. Regardless, I sort of, toying with this in and out, about Arteta and whether he should get a new con- contract or not. Look, I think if he gets us in the top four, whether it's been his own doing or other teams dropping points, it's nothing short of miraculous with that squad, if I'm honest with you. If you compare our squad to Chelsea and United and even West Ham, to be fair,
Mhm.
I think that we've got an inferior squad. So if he gets us into the top four, gosh, I am certainly going to be Arteta in for the next 12 months. Danny, over to you. Give us your predictions for the season.
Pretty much like Zed, mate. Top four isn't enough for a new contract, even though I know about Arsenal will bow down and roll out a 27-year deal for him. But on that, miraculous, no, mate. And I'm going to say this with chest, just like the year, and I'm sorry to say it, it's not been pessimistic. When Leicester won the league, that should have been Arsenal's year. That was when everyone was a fucker. And it's not happening so much at the top of the table as I'm saying the first one or two, because Man City are miles ahead. What I'm saying is, only Arsenal can. I've just said to you, West Ham are 2 points ahead of us. They never strengthened just like us in January. Like, if that was a team that wanted to kick on, they really should have brought in 3 people. And it probably wasn't the lack of trying, and we ain't got enough time to go into it now and screw West Ham. What I'm saying is, we've been given a touch, innit? Like, listen,
Yeah.
Ralph Rangnick is not the guy. Conte is on Sky the other night. Every game is hard for us to even get a point, let alone the 3 points, because, well, we are shit. I literally, like, if you're a player or a fan, that's nothing turning you on. So, at the end of the day, unless it is an Emery collapse, but we've been a collapse since Arteta started. But I mean, like, yeah, it has to be. It's top 4 or 0 because, mate, look, even the fixtures, and I know we've got a couple of tough games. Also, so has everyone else. And
So, Danny, you're telling us where we should be, okay? But I'm just pressing you on where
fourth,
we will be.
fourth, mate, I can't see nothing behind. Only, mate, if I was in charge of this team right now, I would be making a late fucking search for third or second. So, fourth.
Right. And I'm not even going to ask you the Arteta in question because I think even if we finish second, you'd still be saying Arteta out. So we know the answer to that. Daddy, do you want to plug your channel and your Twitter before we finish out?
Guys, I'm sure you've heard tonight. If you want to hear the realest YouTuber on God's green earth, please jump over to Danny AFC TV. On that note, listen, this podcast is only a few weeks old. This is going to be miraculously huge as well. So please big up Zed, please big up Hazard on the All Gunners podcast. I hope I make every difference on this, and I do promise the subscribers will go up by tomorrow as soon as I stamp my seal of approval.
And you're just about, Danny, about to go into a live one. We'll be tuning into that one. If you want to get me on that one as well, then send me the link. But we'll be tuning into that one. And Danny, I will be also thanking you for all of the work that you've done for us in terms of bringing views to us and plugging us continuously on every stream, Danny. We're indebted to you. We can't thank you enough, and we really appreciate that.
Mate, I've had a couple of busy weeks. This is only the start. That's what I'm saying. Just let me get tangled in my next controversial moment and just throw your podcast. Don't worry. I can see it, bros. Don't worry. My birthday's April the 10th. It'll happen before April the 10th. Nice. I can see me a controversial moment coming real soon.
Love it, guys, love it. Right, Zed, do you want to give us your final thoughts and plug your Twitter as well?
No, I just want to say thank you to Danny for coming up. It's been entertaining. Wow. It's been good. It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you, Danny. And hope to have you back as well.
Bro, it'll be a pleasure. Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, good. We're glad to have you back. So you can catch me on Z_TAGP, which stands for the All Gunners Podcast. So reach out if you want to come on the podcast, and I'm sure we can sort something out. This is for the All Gunners, so everyone's welcome.
Brilliant. And guys, remember, if you love Danny AFC TV, then you obviously immediately must love the All Gunners podcast. So do be doing the correct thing, and that means subscribing immediately.
You've got to just love how Danny just goes into presenting mode. You just got to love it.
Absolutely.
Danny, your stream hasn't started yet over there, mate. Let me finish off. All right, mate. Right. Right, guys. Okay, look, I mean, I just want to thank everybody again for coming on the podcast today. It's been very entertaining. In the comments, guys, if you can leave your thoughts and where you feel we should finish and will finish, that will be brilliant as well. And as Zed says, if you want to come and jump on, this is a podcast for everybody and anybody, so long as you be respectful on that podcast and you have some views on the Arsenal, you're welcome. You can find me on Twitter at Harry Kanu, Harry and KHANU on the end of that. Take care, guys. God bless you all, and we'll see you on the next one.